Mercy. Mercy. Oh, hey everybody, I didn't see you click in. I'm just sitting here bored in this hotel room and wanted to make a video while trying to fall asleep. And that's very hard. I don't have my green screen. I don't have my toy closet. I don't even have my Kenner Star Wars figures with me to play with and show you. So how am I going to make a video? Well, I'm going to do it the best way I can from a hotel room. What are we going to talk about today? Easy. The two things that go great together. Kenner and Star Wars. It's like peanut butter and chocolate, or peanut butter and jelly, or Donnie and Marie. That just go together great. So, what are we going to talk about? The 10 things you didn't know about Star Wars Kenner toys. Hold it, before you start typing. Star Wars junk, I knew all this stuff. This isn't anything new. This is going to be 10 things you probably didn't know. Okay, I'm sure there's some people out there like me that knew all these 10 things already. Well, honestly, I didn't even know all 10 of these until I started researching to find it. I got a list of about 8, and then I kind of had to stretch out to find the other. So I hope, like me, you learned something new here. So here we go. And being that I'm not in my fancy closet or have a green screen or even my action figures with me, maybe I need to start packing them when I go out of town. Come on, what grown man doesn't carry his Star Wars toys with him? Anyway, I'm going to do the best I can by just showing you pictures and talking about each one of these. So, here are 10 things most people don't know about the Star Wars Kenner toys. 10. Sure, we all know that Kenner's final Star Wars line, Power of the Force, came with a collector's coin. Each figure came with a coin of that figure, and on the back of that coin, a little bio about the character. But did you know this? The Nikto and the AT-AT driver didn't come with a coin of that figure? That's right, both of these figures came with an Ewok coin. There's no clear answer that I can find anyway, maybe you know, of why just these two figures didn't come with a coin based on their figure. Maybe it was a time issue thing. Maybe someone didn't know what to write about them. Or maybe someone just hated Nikto and AT-AT driver, who knows? Out of all the Power of the Force figures, Nikto and AT-AT driver didn't even have a coin. They came with a coin, but it was just Ewok corn. Corn. Not corn. It didn't come with any corn. It came with a coin.
Think about that. That's just dumb.
We all know Admiral Akbar loved the Y-Wing. But did you know this? The designer of the stickers for the Y-Wing worked her name into the art of the sticker. Sticker number 37. It says Jane. Now it's a little hard to make out the J, but the A and the N is pretty easy. And while we're on the subject of the Y-Wing, why did Kenner put Admiral Akbar on the box flying it? I never really got that. But again, if you look at the sticker, you'll clearly see Jane.
That's beautiful, man.
And while we're on the subject of designers sneaking things into the Star Wars toys, probably the best of all is the guy that sculpted the Dagobah playset. This playset had a lot of detail to it. There's snakes, lizards, roots, and all kinds of things in the base. But if you look really close on the back of a lizard, or it might be a snake, it's kind of hard to tell exactly what it is, you'll see the designer's daughter's name, Emily. That's true, the designer wrote the name Emily into the Dagobah playset. What a dad.
The world's greatest dad.
One of the greatest figures of the Return of the Jedi line has to be the Jedi Luke Skywalker. Okay, so the hood looks a little silly at times, but it's a good looking figure. But did you know the original plan, he was going to have robes on? Kind of like the Anakin Skywalker from the Power of the Force line. In fact, this figure even shows up in a catalog from Mexico in 1983. But somewhere during the production, Kenner decided to change the look into the Jedi Luke we all know today. Sadly, the one used for the catalog in 1983 has never been found. I hope it's out there somewhere, and I hope one day someone will have it. There is, however, 4 prototype hard copies out there. However, 2 of the 4 was missing the head.
Oh, what's in the box?
Did you know the box for the Star Destroyer hints at a deleted scene in The Empire Strikes Back? That's right, it does. If you read the back of the box, it talks about how Darth Vader uses the hologram to talk with the Great Visor. Who is this Great Visor guy? Apparently this Visor guy was like one of the Emperor's dignitaries, and Vader goes to call the Emperor and gets, I guess, his answering service. And according to the script to The Empire Strikes Back, this Great Visor warns Darth Vader that the Emperor is in a bad mood, or as the script says, a foul mood. This scene does appear in the shooting script, but I can't find any confirmation that this was ever filmed. And I can't find anywhere of an actor playing this role. So the best guess is this was cut out before it was even filmed. But it still made it into the Kenner box. And it made a million kids ask, who is the Great Visor? And does he wear a visor? You think you know of all the Kenner Star Wars action figures? Well, what if I told you Sears is releasing an exclusive General Veers action figure? On card!
What you talking about, Willis?
Now, we all know about the AT-AT Commander, and he made a great General Veers for most of us, because we just wanted someone in the AT-AT. As a kid, we really didn't even know who General Veers was. The generals, guys, never really had no names. So we just used the AT-AT Commander as General Veers.
General Veers, you are too close to me.
In the Canadian Sears Wish book, they have a picture of the AT-AT driver, and it's listed as AT-AT Commander Veers. Now I know what you're saying. That doesn't make it an official action figure of General Veers. In fact, this same Wish book says Tusk for Ugnut. Yeah, Ugnut. They gave him a name Tusk, and it says Tusk from Ugnut. I don't even know what that means. But anyway, getting back to General Veers, not only was this in the Sears Canadian Wish book, but guess what? It was on card. The Canadian Sears outlet store sold this figure on a blaster card, and it said General Veers. Sure, it was the AT-AT Commander, but the card says General Veers. But then again, the card looks like it was made by an 11th grader in his mom's basement with some scotch tape, some scissors, and a lot of cardboard. What this mostly was Sears having some action figures off the card, so they shrink wrapped and put on their own card and sent it to outlet stores. But for some reason, they put General Veers on it. So technically, in a way, Sears sold an exclusive General Veers action figure. The infamous rocket-firing Boba Fett. Contrary to what your sister's boyfriend's cousin's cellmate told you, this figure was never shipped out to anyone's house or to any store, and it never appeared on card. Well, not exactly. The Boba Fett with the rocket launcher did appear on a card. In fact, only one has appeared on card, and that showed up at a 1979 Toy Fair as a sample. Sometime in the 90s, a former Kenner employee actually found this figure in his collection, one that he had with him at the Toy Fair in 1979. The Boba Fett now lies in a collector's hand, and in fact, that collector showed up on an episode of Pawn Stars to try and pawn off this rocket-firing Boba Fett, one of a kind on card. However, a deal couldn't be reached. The Pawn Stars guys only wanted to pay $100,000, and the collector was asking $150,000. This is truly one of a kind, and it's one of the most famous variants figures ever made. Everyone, even people who don't collect Kenner, know about the firing Boba Fett. If it's worth $100,000 or $150,000, it's hard to put a price on something that's one of a kind. But yes, for anyone that says Boba Fett with a firing rocket never appeared on a card, well, it did. Only in 1978, and you only saw it if you were at the New York Toy Fair.
So is it real?
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. This is the holy grail of Star Wars toy collecting. It's
Correct.
right here, and it's in your store.
All right, so what do you think I could sell it for?
The extreme rarity of this is just off the charts. I mean, it's one of one we're talking about here. Minimal $125,000.
Okay.
Probably the other most famous variant in the Star Wars Kenner line is the Jawa. Now, any collector will tell you that before the normal Jawa in the cloth cape, he came out in a plastic or vinyl cape, and extremely rare to find. But did you know this? Originally, the Jawa was going to have no cape at all. That's right, he wasn't going to come with a plastic cape or a cloth cape. He was just going to come as he is. In fact, if you take your Jawa and remove his cloth cape, you'll kind of notice this. He's wearing his bandolier straps over what looks like a cloak already. So why put a cloak on top of a cloak? A Kenner change order form from 1977 was found, which indicates changes to the designers to add a vinyl cape to the figure. That's right, proof right there that at first he wasn't going to have a cape at all. Why did they add the cape? Well, being that this was a small figure, maybe they thought parents wouldn't pay the same price for a little Jawa as they do for the other figures. Maybe it was to add more value to the figure. There's really no clear answer. If you look at the back of the 12-pack, you'll notice that it mentions Obi-Wan and Darth Vader both having a cape. But what does it say about the Jawa? There's nothing at all about his cape. Well, it even seems the card design for the first 12 figures at that stage still hadn't decided to put a cape on Jawa. So once again, the original design for Jawa didn't have him coming with the cloth cape or the famous vinyl cape. Just Jawa, plain old Jawa.
Come on, then. Go get him, hurry! Come back! Go, Teeny!
While we're on the topic of the vinyl cape Jawa, we all know he was released on the 12-back card. But did you know this? The vinyl cape Jawa has been found on an Empire Strikes Back card. Yeah, shocking, right? 2 years after the change from vinyl cape to the cloth cape, Jawa appeared on the Empire Strikes Back card. However, there's only been a few of these found, 2 to 3 I think at the most, and they've all been in Australia. Now when you look at these pictures, you're going to say, but that cape doesn't look like the Jawa cape I've seen in other photos. Just for the record, the vinyl cape Jawa from Australia had a much darker cape than the US release. But this figure has been verified. Some of the best in the Star Wars collectors community have looked at this figure and analyzed it to see if it's been a recarded figure, to see if maybe the cape is just a fake cape. But no, every expert that looked at this has agreed this is a carded Empire Strikes Back vinyl cape Jawa, and it's even been graded by the AFA. So it's true, the vinyl cape Jawa has appeared on the Empire Strikes Back card.
We have top men working on it right now. Who? Top men.
This is it, the last of the top 10 things you didn't know about the Star Wars Kenner action figure line. Here goes. The original design for the Emperor action figure had him with a removable cloak. And when you took off the cloak, what did it reveal? The Emperor's bald head. That's right, we never saw his bald head in the original trilogy. But this would have done it. In fact, I spent many nights as a kid wondering what he looked like under that hood. I would have known if Kenner released the figure as planned. But honestly, I'm glad they didn't go with his original design. If you look at others in the line that have the cloth cape, like Jedi Luke and Pruneface, it never really looks that good. The Emperor figure just looks better how he is. It wouldn't have looked as good.
Everything that has transpired has done so according to my design.
And that's it. 10 things you didn't know about the Kenner Star Wars action figure line. Let us know. I'm sure you knew some of these 10. Did we stump you on any of them? Or did you know all 10? Let us know in the comments below. And until our next video, keep your eyes on StarWarsJunk.net.
You want this, don't you? The hate is swelling in you now.